All right, let's get into it, mate. So, Rahul Sharma, Uncle Sharma, welcome back to the channel. We've known each other for a number of years. It's great to have you back on, sir. It's been a little while since you've been on. It's been a little while since you and I have spoken in a recorded setting. And I think the last time was also with me sitting outside. We were talking about that before. It might have been during the Euro in 2021. I can't remember.
Yeah, it was because I was doing post-match, pre-match of all the Italy games, and yeah, you were like a regular guest at that time when we were going through that amazing run. And yeah, now as we were saying, now it feels like a completely different time. You know, time-wise and Italy-wise, it's yeah, it is what it is. But I'm happy to see you still thriving, looking good, looking sharp as always.
Thank you,
Looking,
mate.
looking dripped out.
It's good to have you back on. I'm wearing a workout shirt. This is not dripped out at all, but I appreciate you saying so. I love how I just have to throw on sunglasses, and then in those sweet dulcet English tones, you just go, "Oi, mate, you dripped out."
Dripped out, mate.
I'm wearing sunglasses and headphones. But okay, I'll
That's all you
take it.
need, bro. That's all you need. I'm a full kit wanker right now. I'm wearing like the full Inter tracksuit right now.
No, you can get away with that because you live in Britain.
Yeah. You know, you get like random guys wearing the full PSG kits that like, them they don't even watch PSG.
Well, you're wearing a tracksuit. A tracksuit is cool. That's like that's the grime look.
Yeah.
That's the grime scene look.
Yeah. Nike Tech, bro. Like everyone's wearing like Nike Tech these days. It's crazy.
How did that become synonymous with rap, like athletic wear and tracksuits? Because I think it's like a Euro style thing. I think it's like people from the outskirts of big cities in Europe that rap all wear like Barcelona tracksuits now, and it's
Yeah, I
like
don't
the
know.
style caught
It's
on.
like a uniform, doesn't it? It becomes almost like a uniform. Like
Yeah,
if you're wearing anything else than a tracksuit, you're looking like I don't know. This guy's a bit, I don't know, a bit fruity, as they would say here. But like yeah, like and
yeah.
it has to be matching. You can't wear like an Adidas top and then like a Nike thing. It has to be the full. If you're going Nike, it has to be the full Nike look with the Nike trainers. Otherwise, people are also calling you out for that.
Yeah, I feel like if you want to be a conscious rapper, though, I feel like you almost can't wear a tracksuit. That's the thing. It's like a certain type of rapper that you can be. You
Yeah.
can be hype. You can have your boys around you, and you can be in an urban center. You can be in a housing project,
Oh yeah.
but you can't be talking about social issues really that much. You could just gloss over it. Like,
Yeah.
does Santan Dave ever do the tracksuit thing? I don't know that he does.
He does. He does like the Stone Island. That's his thing. Like the Stone Island.
Mm,
With the patch or the
sure.
Stone Island t-shirts or yeah. He does the Stone Island like tracksuit. So that's like a little bit like even more upmarket compared to like the Nike Tech.
Yeah, no, the Nike Tech is. I've never called it Nike in my life. The Nike Tech. You're
Nike.
the ones who
Sorry,
call it. You're the you're the
mistake. Yeah.
you're the ones who fuck it up.
Yeah.
By
It
the
is.
way,
Yeah. It
I
is.
think in Greek it's Nike.
It is. It is.
I don't even know if that's true. I've heard that Nike means victory in Greek, but I don't actually know if that's how they pronounce it. I think we
Oh
we
no. It
just
is.
assume that because over here in America we hear people call it Nike, we just assume that the Greek word for victory is Nike, but it might be. I mean, it's spelt that way, but it might be Nikki. I think it's actually Nikki. I think it's actually
Probably.
Nikki. So,
Probably.
so we're
It's
we're
definitely
both
not
fucking it
Nike
up.
though. At least.
No, I mean, if anyone's saying it worse, it's you
Yeah.
guys. If the real one is
Yeah.
Nikki, Nike is much further off.
Yeah.
They say that in Italy too. Nike, le scarpe da Nike.
Yeah. Adidas.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
add
but
the S,
Adidas makes sense.
they add the ass in Adidas.
Yeah, but Adidas makes sense.
Mm.
Like when you read the word out in Italian, that's how you would read it. I don't know that you would read Nike as Nike in Italian. No. It would be Nike. But they don't say that. They say Nike,
Yeah, that's
boy.
true.
Sempre pulite le suole delle nuove Nike. It's like what? What? Where does that come from? Yeah, I don't know.
They're so
Eh,
expensive as well. These the Nike Techs. Like I think as you're saying, like this tracksuit thing has become such a thing that like here I don't know how much what it is like there. It's like you can't buy a whole Nike tracksuit for like £120 or like minimum. That's like the minimum price now for like a whole
Yeah.
uniform.
Yeah, no, it's not. They're not cheap, but you could just get it. I don't know, bro. Why would you pay for a full tracksuit unless you're actually gonna like work out in it? You know, because if you're actually gonna work out in it, then you maybe want some of the stretch fabrics and stuff. But if you just want to look dripped out, just order it on AliExpress, man. The Chinese are gonna do you just fine. Just for the purpose of a video. You know, Rove, the rapper from Milan. I think he had a bunch of people. What song was it? You know how anytime a rap video gets filmed in like a housing project now, you have a bunch of kids and a bunch of like homies around him, right?
Yeah.
And they're all dripped out, and I'm using that word now very liberally. They're not dripped out at all. Actually, they're wearing jerseys. They're wearing kits. They're wearing kits or tracksuits,
Yeah.
right? So I think it was for Cancelo. I think it was for the video that he made for the Cancelo song. I don't know why I'm calling it the Cancelo song, but it's the song called Cancelo. Literally, that's the name of the song, right? I think there was footage at the start of the music video where he was like handing out AliExpress Juventus shirts to kids.
Oh, I've never
like
tried
which
the
isn't
tracksuits
surprising.
from
Like, of course
AliExpress.
he does that, but
Are they good? Are they reliable? The AliExpress tracksuits?
I never have either. Actually, I've only ever ordered shirts.
Yeah, the shirts are so good these days, bro. Like, yeah, they're so like
I know.
I can't even tell the difference. I've got like a couple Inter ones, and it's like, whoa, there's no, I cannot tell the difference.
Yeah, and then they say, "Oh, you don't do that. You're hurting the club. You're hurting big business." It's like, no. What are you talking about? Nike's the one who makes the jerseys, right? They're the ones who makes, I think, most of the money on that.
Yeah.
Who makes money on kit sales? They say that the
That's the
club
biggest myth, bro.
makes
Like when
money
people
on
say
kit
that,
sales,
like that's the
but it's
biggest myth that annoys me online when the people are like, oh, sign this player, he'll make his money back in shirt sales. Like, bro,
isn't he making money for the manufacturer of the kit?
Yeah, yeah. I think
Isn't he though?
It's like I think
know.
it typically is like the club gets like 10 to 15%. Like that's usually the split. Like that's
Where did you hear that? That's it?
Yeah. There's that YouTube channel called The Athletic Interest that made a video on it.
The German guys.
Yeah, I think so. It literally says like the myth of shirt sales or something is called the video.
My god. Yeah, no, piss off. Piss right fucking off. It's all getting manufactured by the same people in China who are all not getting paid very much. Just do what makes sense.
To be fair, for me, Inter's owners are Chinese, so technically I'm kind of like supporting, indirectly.
Yeah. No matter what you do, if you buy anything to do with Inter, you're just supporting the Chinese regime.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Indirectly or indirectly, if you're buying directly from the source or not. Yeah, it's all going. Yeah, it's all going back into the regime that's keeping Jack Ma fucking just silent and compliant, or whatever deep fake they have of him now. Yeah, whatever clone they made of him. It's like really Jack Ma, but it's like he's like 2% sheep DNA now. They like took some of his DNA. They took some of his DNA. They mixed it in with a human cadaver, like an aborted cadaver, and like a goat or something. So it's like he doesn't quite have like the full cognitive ability of a human being. He just behaves. And he just goes along with whatever they say.
They use the AI to make his voice, I guess.
Yeah, and it just has a voice box. I wonder what is physically possible. Like, do you not think that it might be possible that through AI, if you're able to recreate like a person's voice, you could then just put a voice box in them? I'm sure it might be doable. I can't be the only person who's ever thought of it. That's the thing. Anytime I have a crazy idea that I think is ingenious, I think to myself, I take a step back and I think to myself, whoa, if I thought this, if I'm stupid, and if I thought this, someone else surely has also. And if someone else has thought it, it's probably been pitched in a board meeting or in a, I don't know, in a do governments have boardrooms? I don't know, in a government sit down meeting, and among decision makers, it's definitely been floated, and they might have run prototypes on. Anytime I have a crazy idea, I just assume I'm not the first person who thought of it. That could be Jack Ma.
Yeah, could be. I mean, those AI, like those recent AI songs that have been making, like that Drake Weekend one. I mean,
that one was bad.
It was bad, but it was but it was believable. Like, if you didn't tell me that was AI, I would have believed. I thought it was just like
Here's the problem with that one. The problem with that one, dude, the beat was terrible. You were trying to pass that off as a Metro Boomin beat. You're gonna tell me that's Metro Boomin? No way. It was like a piano. It was like a piano riff. It was awful.
That's true.
But
That's true.
but the sound of the bars was buyable. I you know I could have been swayed. You know, if you told me that's Drake just rapping on this garbage beat, I would have said okay. It sounds like him. What I think was good about that was it created this like new genre of music. I don't know, had this really already existed? I feel like since that video came out last month, there have been other AI songs made to sound like Drake made them that have been a lot better. Some of the other ones since that Weekend and Drake one have been really good.
But I've even seen like ones that like Kanye doing Punjabi songs.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard Kanye doing like "Love Yourself" by Justin Bieber. That's the craziest thing I'd seen of Kanye. But it's true. You could actually get them to now sing in other languages.
Yeah.
You can get Drake. You could get Drake to do like a French song. Did you hear that? Like a few years ago, he asked PNL if they wanted to do a track together, and they told him to get fucked.
Really?
Yeah. So now we could get that anyway. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just we could get that anywhere. Maybe he could just, how much you want to bet Drake is actually putting these out himself, and then he's just like, I don't know, because he's such a genius at marketing and stuff. Maybe he's like putting out fucking like unreleased tracks that he was never maybe gonna let see the light of day because he thought they weren't up to par. But he was like, fuck it, I'll release these anyway, and we'll just claim that they're AI. We'll just leak them. No one will know the difference, and people will say, oh shit, AI's getting real good. Yo, Drake is, they're coming for Drake, and it gets, I don't know, it gets attention. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm interested. How do you think AI would come into football?
I was about to ask you that. I was trying to get out of this fucking this corner that I backed us into somehow, and just to try to shift it onto the thing that people are more accustomed to listening to us talk about.
Yeah,
which is football. I was gonna ask you the same thing, and the reason I was gonna ask you is because I didn't know the answer, but I was hoping you might have an interesting theory.
Probably scouting. I think it would be like especially clubs that are already like, the Brightons of this world, or like the Atalantas who are like analytics heavy. They'll be like, yo, I need a 19 to 23-year-old winger, blah blah blah, and you can put that into some sort of AI, and it gives you like a 10 to 15 players that you can go out and scout to bring in to your team.
Okay, so right there, you just said you put specifications into quote. Maybe I'm paraphrasing you here. I don't remember exactly what you said. You could rewind a few seconds here, but I believe you said you could plug it into quote some kind of AI.
Yeah,
that's where it gets weird. That's where we start to say, well, I guess AI solves everything. But what does that even look like? What does an AI program that has the ability to use artificial intelligence and apply it to football look like? What does that mean? Does it just mean like, because right now we have computers that can almost already do that. How does AI differ, right? I think what AI means to me is it's actually identifying issues for you that you didn't realize you had. You know what I'm saying? Because we can already kind of use like analytics and data and computers to check certain metrics and accordingly filter.
Yeah.
And maybe get a list of footballers that might meet your specifications. I'm saying that already exists and it doesn't use AI.
Yeah.
It uses computers, which is kind of AI. But what AI is meant to be is like stuff that like processes shit independently. So what I think is it might start running clubs. That's what really, that's where it gets really interesting. There'll be a fourth tier club in England that is the first AI run club.
It'll be the first full crypto AI club.
Yeah, and it doesn't even exist. Yeah. It's they play in the metaverse. No, I mean the metaverse fizzled out real quick. Actually, that's one thing I think that will never catch on to the extent that we thought it might a year ago. I mean, maybe they'll try again. Maybe that was round one. They were just trying to like dip our toe in the water, see how we would react to it. And it was like, okay, hold up. Like yeah, they're not ready yet.
The Super League project. They're just kind of like, we're just throwing this out there. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's like when you've been dating a girl for a couple of dates, a couple of weeks, and it's like, all right, I'm just putting a feeler out there. Where are we at? No, we're not ready. Oh no, okay. I'm just putting a feeler out there. We'll circle back in another week. Like in another few years, they might float it on us again. I don't know, but like football in the metaverse. I remember a year ago people were saying there was going to be football in the metaverse, like you know. So I didn't mean to bring that up. I was just throwing out I was throwing out new age buzzwords, AI, crypto, metaverse. But legitimately, you might have a club that is run by some kind of artificial program. But I don't know what that would look like. Does it like you still have to have a CEO? You still have to have a head of this department and a head of that department, and they just kind of okay the decisions which are made by AI. And like, are they obligated to like? Could they veto their picks, or are they obligated to just say no? We trust this blindly. This is an experimental club. This whole thing is an experiment. We do not question it ever. You know, I don't know, but it feels like it could happen. I think AI running a club is probably more likely. And the sad thing is, it'll be run a lot better than most Italian clubs for sure.
Oh yeah, probably be at least yeah, or at least will make you profitable probably, or at least not making millions of losses every year.
Do you really want that though? Isn't it nice when a club loses money and kind of like
dies
and kind of I don't know leads to drama and chaos and relegation and stuff? I mean, and catastrophe. Yeah. If every club was run by AI, it would be really hard. Imagine getting relegated when every club uses AI. Well, it's like how does that even happen? If they're all using the same programs, they should all be trying to, sign the same players, right? The same, or does each one have a different need based on climate or temperature and elevation? Where it is at sea level, this player will do better than that player because he runs more or less. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess the Bundesliga is kind of the closest we've got right now. Those guys know how to run profitability at football clubs.
Yeah. Well, no, Germans don't need AI.
Yeah, they are the
Germans won't need AI. Yeah, no, they 100%. I think German clubs actually could just use AI first, and it won't change anything. Italian clubs should be the last ones. Like Southern European clubs should be the last ones to use AI.
I mean, rest is in peace his soul. But I would have loved to propose this to Zamparini or someone like AI, use AI at Palermo. I just want to see what his reaction would have been, or a Massimo Ferrero, just propose it to him. See what.
Here's the thing. It sounds scary now. It sounds creepy. It sounds awful. But then the first club that uses it and starts winning, if they start winning, I mean, you'll have a bunch of other clubs that are protesting, but the fans of the team that won, they won't give a shit. You'll see them switch on a dime. My friend. They will not care. They will not give one solitary fuck that an artificial intelligence program was used in order to build their team. It will not matter. It will not matter to them at all. They're just going to be like, eat shit, get a bet, get with the program, and it might be Juventus. To be honest, it feels like a very Juventino thing, like, we got to win above all else. But I actually think if a smaller club tried using it and it worked out for them, and it's like the first time they won anything ever, they would not want to stop winning. I think it would pivot them too. These people that would otherwise say, no, this is about football's about supporting your local club, and it's about the human side and all that shit.
I could see on a dime. I could see Sassuolo running it. Like they don't have there's not much pressure there. That their fan base isn't that big.
Yeah, I think we should run all experiments in Italian football through Sassuolo.
Yeah, they're the guinea pigs. They're the ideal guinea pigs to do anything.
Yeah, they are. They really are. Or just do
they even have a maybe you have does Sassuolo even have a curva? I don't even know if they do, because I'm from that's near where I used to live, Sassuolo, and I know it's not a big city.
Well, it's Regina fans. It's the new Regina, right? Yeah. Is there stadium not in Reggio Emilia?
Yeah.
Which is that not where you were born?
I was born Modena.
Yeah. Okay.
Not far. It's not far. It's literally half an hour drive from there. So
yeah, Modena used to be a really big team, and I'm sure there were a lot of people that were fully fully into that. Young people who were maybe our age, a little younger, and it was like, wow, our club's in Serie A. Were they at some point? I think they surely were at some point.
Yeah, they were when I was growing.
They were fully invested in that, and those people now probably are grandfathered into it. But I'm sure their kids now, I'm sure a lot of them probably lean towards Sassuolo. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, but you're asking, is there a curva? I mean, you mean, do they have enough fans to make up a curva? Or are you
Yeah.
saying, like, is there physically one? I think there's the infrastructure for it. I don't know if,
Yeah, I
I
mean
don't
the
know.
stadium's nice. It's like one of the nicer ones in Italy, but yeah, just fan number of fans wise, it always looks empty. The Mapei Stadium. I don't know what Mapei. What is Mapei actually? Let me look it up.
It's a
Oh,
telecom company, or it's a cell phone maker, I think. I
adhesives
think that,
apparently.
what's up?
Adhesives, sealants, chemical products.
Oh, okay. I thought they made phones. I had no clue. The founder died a few months ago. He had a great name. It was Squilly,
Squeen,
Mr. Squilly. Squeensy? Squeensy.
Rodolfo,
Squeensy. Yeah.
Rodolfo
Squeensy.
Squeensy.
There was a guy I went to high school with who I don't know why, but we used to nickname him. He was some Italian kid. We named him Squeege. It was his nickname. Squeege. Squeege.
Shout out to Squeege if you're listening.
He called me once. We were doing a project together in like grade 8, and he goes, "Hey Sam, it's Squeege." Like he started referring to himself as Squeege. Squeensy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think we should designate one club to just be like either the chosen people. You know, they wind up being the new Jews, the chosen people. They're God's people, or they're like, I don't know. They're like Chernobyl, you know. It's like it's like it either really works out for them and they're the chosen people and it all works out, or it's like they're just the poor bastards who have to live in a metaphorical nuclear hellscape.
Mm.
You know, like we should just pick one club, designate them, and say you don't have much going on right now.
Mm.
You don't have much to lose.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Hell,
saying.
you could go bankrupt in 5 years. It's all going well now, but you don't know what 2 years from now is going to look like, and you could be bankrupt within a year from that. You know, it could change like that. So we're designating you guys as our special project, and we're gonna, fucking MK Ultra the players if you have to. Just apply, just let them operate outside of the confines of whatever drug testing occurs, and just like use them to, just fill them up with EPO and see how many years it'll take them to go from Serie D to Serie A. Build a new stadium. Just use them as a guinea pig for infrastructure, fan experience. Maybe just like give the fans psychedelics, psyop the fans. Just use them for everything. I say Casertana, that team that's like building a stadium in Serie D. They're getting a new stadium right now. It's like, hey, you got the infrastructure. You guys can come up to Serie A. Maybe let's have a little fun. If this all works out, you'll be up in a couple years. Or maybe not them because they have too much to lose now because they're actually investing in the club. Maybe a club that's like down on their luck.
Maybe like someone like Catania or someone that just needs to come up from the
Catania feels like they have too much to lose. I feel like you got to do a club like Taranto or something. Foggia. I'd say Taranto. Taranto's a huge city in Bari, or in Puglia, near Bari. It's a huge city, and their football infrastructure is like zero. Or I think they might actually have a stadium. I'm talking infrastructure, which means stadium and physical infrastructure. What I mean is like the club sucks. That's what I mean. I don't know how much culture there is. I don't know how much football culture there is there. I think the team might be in Serie D, bro. I don't know if people give a shit about the club there, or they all just support Lecce or whatever. But that'd be a good option. A big city,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at this Casertana stadium you're talking about. Looks quite good. Hope they actually
We
pull
talked
it off.
about it. Yeah, we talked about it last week, and it's crazy because all they have to do to impress people is just build a stadium that's new. Like, you're building a new stadium, you're taking the initiative, and people are impressed by that. They're like, "Oh wow, chapeau! This is more than we expect from anyone."
Well, yeah, bloody
Barcelona.
Inter and Milan have been trying to build it for the last since I've moved from Italy. They've been trying to build a new stadium, and there's still nothing's happened.
Right. Like 15 years.
Yeah.
It'll never happen.
No, it'll never happen. People always ask me here in the UK, like, "Oh, mate, is the San Siro going to be demolished soon?" It's like, no, bro, don't worry, it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
No, and just when you think you're right there, someone will come in over the top and say, "Nope, historical landmark."
Yeah.
We can't tear it down.
Sport Bible, like they just keep recycling the same article, and people will send it to me like, "Oh, look, Sport Bible is saying San Siro might be demolished soon." And it's like, no, bro, it's not going anywhere.
No, nothing's going anywhere. None of it. Literally, nothing that you see right now is going anywhere. The Olimpico's not the Stadio. Remember the Stadio della Roma? I say remember like it was a thing once upon a time. Is it still an ongoing project, or have they abandoned that? I've been hearing about the
No, I
Stadio
think
della
I
Roma
think
since
I
I've been
think they
following.
abandoned that. I think it was Pallotta who was trying to build
Oh,
that.
bro. I don't know. That was
Yeah, I mean Rocco Commisso is
meant to
trying to
be.
build one in Fiorentina, and they're not letting him. He's had to just do the Viola Park, the training ground. I was like, okay, I'll
I
just
think,
do
I
that
think
then.
I think he's given up on that too. And here's the thing. Here's the thing about him. He knows how it works now, and he's not trying to reinvent the wheel anymore.
Yeah, he's
He
given up.
complain. He periodically complains, but he's like, you know what? I like this. This is charming. I like this. I like being involved in this. I'm an old man. I'm semi-retired right now. I like that this is my retirement project. I don't want to abandon it. Yes, I'm not getting any of the things I want to do done, but people aren't holding me to it because they knew that my their expectations were low, and they knew that my goals were too lofty when I got into this whole thing. They knew that I was, they knew that I was going to have my innocence ripped away from me at some point. They were like, "Oh, just wait." And now that his innocence has been ripped away, I think the fans like him. They've accepted him, and he's accepted his circumstances. And he sits up with his feet in the Tuscan countryside. He owns a club. The stadium's old, but he owns them. And people are happy. And it's nice. It's Italy,
Yeah, that's true.
Isn't that better than having AI own your club?
Yeah.
You
Oh
need to
man,
demolish a
the
state. You need to
periodic
demolish a
like
stadium. Nah,
interviews
bro.
that he just with his Bronx accent, the little throwaway comments that he has, like yeah, it's worth just having him just for those. AI can't
He
do.
sounds like a North American uncle.
Yeah.
He really does. Like a North American Italian uncle. The way he speaks is hilarious because he'll just throw English words in sometimes. A few weeks ago, he said, "No metto neanche un penny." Capito? Capito? Okay.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
always ends with okay.
Okay, so be our British correspondent. What's going on over there? So the coronation happened on the weekend. Is that a thing that people actually care about? We're seeing a lot of stories right now on the other side of the Atlantic about the coronation of the king and queen. I didn't even know there was a queen to be. I saw this mistress who I didn't even know who she was. I didn't know it was his mistress. I just saw this lady who I heard was apparently at one time King Charles's mistress, who is now the Queen of England. I did not know that she was even a person that existed who was on the radar, and now she's the Queen of England.
Mm.
What's happening there? I did not know that lady existed. She's now the fucking queen. What's going on?
Well,
Do people care about that? Like, was it a big deal on the weekend? Were people going out and having lunch and stuff for the
today's the
coronation, or is
bank
it kind of a
holiday,
farce?
which is all I care about. So we get an extra day off today, Monday, bank holiday. So yeah, shouts out to Charles the Third, and Camilla, the new queen. But now, bro, I don't care. But my neighbor does. I can see in the garden.
But
I can see.
does anyone? What is he
Yeah,
doing? What's your neighbor
my
doing?
neighbor's got the flags up. He's got the United Kingdom flags all up in the garden. I can see. Yeah, he's got like they had like a little party going on, cakes, tea going on. Some people do. Some people really, yeah, do care. But majority, like I don't personally know anyone that cares. But there are like there are some houses, and you know what type of people those people are when you see that flag outside today. You're like, yeah, these are the royalists, the monarchists.
But do they really care? Or do people just want to get together for a piss or for a party? Like, is it an excuse to?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
guess
exactly.
yeah. There probably is that. There probably is that. Yeah, British people just getting together and just want to have a piss up over something, just any excuse.
Yeah. All right, that was royal talk on the on this episode of the Bordello. I don't fucking care about those people, and I know nobody does. But if it pisses me off that there are articles written about them because it tells me that people are clicking on them. It tells me that it gets interaction. It tells me that people actually do care about them enough to keep the cycle going, and that just disappoints me. I
Yeah.
don't have very much hope for humanity anyway as is, but that just thoroughly disappoints me when they're like, dude, I saw an article today on the Telegraph Snapchat, which by the way, that's the extent to which anyone reads it, like the Telegraph now that's my age, like the people that actually still read the paper are all going to be dead soon, and the only way that they're going to have any relevance at all is going to be through like Snapchat. So they're going to have to cling to like really really like gossipy type stories, and that's it. That's just what they do now. It's like they'll talk about Greta Thunberg because she's a climate change activist, but they won't do it like in a way where they actually talk about climate change. They'll just be like, here's what she tweeted at Andrew Tate. It's like that's the extent of the that's the extent of the of the intellectual shit that gets posted now. It's intellectual because it talks about Greta Thunberg and she's an activist. Like I saw an article yesterday or today on the Telegraph Snapchat saying Prince Harry was only in England for 28 hours.
Oh no.
Here are his 28 hours in England. And I like chronicled it. This time he touched down on an American Airlines flight at Heathrow. And then he went to this cottage, and then he went to Windsor. And then he left at this time, and he arrived at this time, and the only thing he did, the only person he spoke to was his aunt, and he smiled, and then he went home. It's like people are reading that. People are
Yeah.
clicking on
I
that.
feel like people abroad really into it. Like, oh, like yeah. I mean,
Yes.
so many tourists
Yes.
come here just to see like the royal family and the palace and things like that. I think it's like a really big thing abroad.
But again, like when you go to Spain, there's a royal palace there too. You can go to see that, and it's cool. It's like a museum, but it's not like a current
No, yeah,
like
no one talks about
monarchy
the
that's
Spanish.
ruling there.
Yeah,
There is a king of Spain,
yeah,
by the
yeah,
way. There is a king of Spain. The Copa del Rey is a thing, but it's. I think a lot of other countries have done a good job of keeping them to be, keeping them as very symbolic figures, who just kind of are still. I don't know. I don't even know. It's like they have a title, I guess, because it's inherited and whatever. They
yeah.
kind of mind their own business.
They're like a massive tourist attraction here in the UK. I think that's probably like they market them in that way.
But I mean, it's got to be a really. I know you don't live in London. I know you live in Leicester, and it's a whole different city. And I know that a lot of people don't really even understand that from abroad. If you were to go speak English to someone in Atlanta, Georgia, they would say, "Oh, right, you're English. What do you think about the Queen?" Like they would ask you about that, like it's a thing that affects you, like it's in your backyard. I
Yeah,
understand that you're not really so intimately connected to the city of London, but like you go down there sometimes, right? You've told me
yeah.
you go down I don't know, for work or for pleasure, both, whatever. How many people are really like that weird type of um when I think about English people, I don't think about this type of person, but there are other people that do think about these other cohorts, and they think of England as being this. When I think of England and the United Kingdom, I think of football fans, lads, pubs, the commoner,
Yeah.
blue collar guys, Labor Party enthusiasts and UKIP guys, who are kind of both. While they might be on like different ends of the political aisle, like historically they're kind of the same person, just like working class East London. Yeah. That's what I think of. Like that's my like London, my Londoner archetype, stereotype type of thing. But a lot of other people think of like Downton Abbey and like Coronation Street and the Crown. And how many people are that type of London? How much of London is money and banking and royals and Westminster? And oh yes, I speak like this. Like who the fuck actually speaks that way?
No, there is. Yeah, there is. That is a big part. But yeah, it's a very specific part. But it's like, yeah, for me, it's like I don't interact with that part. So it's weird. Like to me, that part doesn't really exist, but I know it does. But I just never interact with it. So
How prominent is it?
it is problem. I mean,
I've
yeah,
never been to London,
if you go
and
to
I'm curious.
Westminster, like that area, like Westminster, Chelsea, like those types of go. Or if you go like if you banking guys, if you go down like Liverpool Street, which is like where all the banks are and things like that, like you'll see like if you go to the pubs there where like a pint of beer costs you like £15, then you get to experience that. But I personally firsthand, yeah, I my experience of Britain is the one that you have, like more like working class football culture lads, that because that was what the same was for me at university in Sheffield. So that's what I experienced. But it is prominent. It's not just like one of those stereotypes that's like outdated. There are a lot of people that are like that with
And
stiff.
do those people right? And do those people look down on soccer and
Yeah,
sport,
yeah,
football,
football.
rugby, all of it? No, no, not just football. Do they also look down on like rugby and all sport, or is football especially looked at
No, so
in
like
a negative
the
light, or do some of them kind of guiltily like it, like it's a guilty pleasure? It's like they secretly enjoy it.
No, I think rugby. So it's funny how in England they say rugby is a thug's sport played by gentlemen, and they say football is a gentleman's sport played by thugs. So
Right.
there is that connotation of like football being more working class, and yeah, probably not. They probably look down on football fans and culture in general, whereas rugby. Yeah, I went to like a rugby game here in Leicester. Leicester, the rugby team in Leicester is like one of the best in England. And yeah, like the atmosphere is completely different. Everyone's like so much nicer, and like everyone's dressed up a little bit more, which is weird. Yeah, when you see rugby, like obviously when you rugby is like a, you know, if people that watch American football is like it's like a medieval version of that. Um, so it's a weird like juxtaposition. And the referee, like the players are so nice to the referee. Like it's completely opposite to football. They respect the referee, and the referee has a mic, and like he tells players off, and they listen to him. Whereas in football, it's like the other way around.
Yeah, what's interesting is that. Sorry, I think I cut out there. You hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my own sound cut out on my own headphones. My bad. What's interesting is that in Italy, I think that pretty much everyone likes football. There are aristocrats who are not even real aristocrats, but I mean, like the I guess they're kind of like the new age bourgeois class. They exist. You have
Mm.
people that have money in every city, but I think everyone still kind of likes football. There are obviously people who are less concerned about it across the socioeconomic spectrum, and I'm sure you might have people that are a little bit, higher up on the socioeconomic spectrum that might not have, time to think about football, and they might look at it as being a little below them. But
Mm.
I think that broadly, everyone likes it. Yeah, more people like it. Many more people like it than in England, across the entire socioeconomic spectrum. Obviously, like the sport is huge in both countries. I would say that it's probably equally huge in both countries, but I would say that there is less. One thing I've noticed is that wealthy people in Italy tend to be less stuck up about it than the types of people that I'm describing to you in England. Again, I don't know how prominent those people are. That's why I'm asking you about them. But
Mm.
my understanding was that people that will, go to those pubs where they spend the 15 quid and will speak like that. Oh yes, mummy. I was reading in the journal, and they really won't pay any mind to it. I feel like in Italy, a lot of politicians, a lot of wealthy people still really care about it. I'm sure there are politicians and MPs and shit in England that love football too, because MPs are kind of not really like all that, they're not really that stuck up. A lot of them, I think you have a lot of common folk that wind up becoming members of parliament. So maybe that's not the best example. But I have noticed that in Italy, bro, like rich people will have a fucking club, like people with like old money, old family money, like they'll be tied to their club's town,
Yeah.
and their club. Sorry, their town's club, their club's town, both, right? They're into the club, they're into the town. There's a lot more like patria. I don't know that there's as much like Italian nationalism in Italy as there is British nationalism. I know there's not, but there's a lot more local pride. I think in England there's a more of a national pride type thing. Is that true? Is there less like regional pride in England?
I think because when I studied, because I studied up north in Sheffield, I think because the further away you get from London, I think it gets more local. Whereas if you're towards the south, it's kind of like because Italy's the opposite of Italy, England's the opposite of Italy, where like the south is the wealthy part and the north is like the less
Right.
affluent part. So I think like in Sheffield they are quite, if you're from Yorkshire, like yeah, Yorkshire, like everyone's proud, like this is, locally made cheese, or like everything is much more local. Yeah, there's more local pride, I think, and especially like yeah, like there'll be people from Sheffield who are more likely to be supporting like Sheffield United or Sheffield Wednesday rather than one of the big teams. Like if you go further up north, like Newcastle, like yeah, I think it gets more patriotic, I think, or not patriotic, but yeah, like that local patriotism that you're talking about up north in England.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. It makes sense actually, because I think yeah, like even rich people up in Newcastle probably still love them. They still
Yeah,
love that club. They're proud Geordies.
yeah,
That's yeah, interesting. So maybe it's a weird thing I'm trying to diagnose here. I don't even know what I'm fully trying to get. I think I think that one thing that you have in Italy is like we all know about campanilismo, right? So everyone like pledges allegiance to their own little campanile, but then you know, in the south of Italy, you have that. And I know you never lived in the South, but I'll tell you this much from having family there. It's people definitely are proud of their local town, and they'll go to war with the other local towns. But there's when it comes to football, they're less they're less like tied to their own local club. They'll tend to kind of give them a tip of the hat and say, yeah, okay, cool, I salute you, I hope you do well. But there's so little there's so little football in the south of Italy in Serie A that a lot of them just support like Inter or Milan or Juve.
Yeah,
Whereas I think in England, the Prem has teams like pretty much spread across the entire land. It's
yeah,
very odd how in Italy it's so like Serie A is so heavily focused in one half of the country.
yeah, yeah. Because I saw that map of when Napoli won the Scudetto the other day, the geographical spread of the Scudettos, and yeah, it's all like up north. I think Napoli the only southern team with a few Scudettos.
Yeah. You wonder why not more people support Napoli in the South.
Mm.
You really do. I don't know why that is. I think it's like if you're going to support them at that point, just support your own local club.
Yeah, I think it's one of them where it's like, yeah,
It's weird. It's like, oh well, you know, I'm Calabrese. Why would I support Napoli? Well, I'm not Napolitan. It's odd, you know. There is a bit of I think a Southern brotherhood that exists, but because of like the weird campanilismo that exists, I think there's like a tendency to not really have that apply to football as
yeah,
much. I think there's like an understanding of yeah, this is our collective struggle. We're all from the South, but it's like okay, you know, I'm not going to support. You know, if I'm from Cosenza, okay, or my dad's from Cosenza, and Crotone come up to Serie A, I don't give a shit, right? They're Calabrese. I should care. Well, no, it's actually like I hate them the most. It's like I'm the most indifferent about them. It's odd, you
yeah,
know? And it's almost like there's a distance between like Turin and Calabria. So you're in Calabria and maybe you'll support Juve because well, you know, I don't have an issue with them. I'm so far removed from them. I don't even have a reason to have like a like a beef with people from Piemonte, you know? It feels like that's kind of the psychology there.
yeah. No, yeah, it's interesting, but what's your end goal here with this point that you're making?
I don't know. We're just comparing and contrasting. It's
Mm.
interesting.
Yeah, no,
Like you
I
never
thought you maybe
like
had
you
like a
supported.
theory.
I have a lot of theories.
Mm.
I have a lot of theories. That's true. You thought I was going to drop one of my famous theories.
Yeah, yeah,
No,
I thought you were leading me into something where you're gonna like.
I'm just talking, man.
Mm.
I'm just curious. I'm wondering why that is.
Mm.
I'm kind of trying to think about it live in real time. Like you wound up supporting Inter, and you were not from Lombardia. Why did that happen? Why did you not cling toward Modena? You were there for what 13 years, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
You lived in Modena till you were 13.
yeah.
Why did you never have any affiliation toward them? Did people look down on you because you supported Inter, or was it so common to support a team outside of your local town? That's a thing that really exists in Italy. I guess I don't know. I don't have a theory here, but I'm like the point I'm making here is that I think the pride thing is real in a lot of big towns, but then in the regions, people will kind of forego that in favor of supporting a club of their choosing who are like a perennial contender.
Yeah, no, now that I think about it, like none of my friends growing up supported any of the small teams. Everyone was like either Milan, Juve, or Inter fan. That was it. Like there was no, yeah, I don't remember anyone supporting Modena or anyone going to like, let's go to a Modena game or like something like that. Or Mantova. Mantova was the closest one. Like Serie, I think there was Serie B back then.
Oh my god.
And
Yeah, they're in Serie C now, right?
I think
I
so.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. It's like you're almost weird if you're like, yeah. I've had this idea. Here's my theory. Here you go. Here you go. I'll give it to you. I have a theory that if you like your local club too much, you're a bit of a weird guy. I think it makes you a weird guy if you're too local of a club.
Yeah.
So like when you go to the non-league side in the 6th tier, oh, you know, we're going down to support, you know, Smithson Town. Like
Yeah. You're the hip.
it's kind of hip now, but a lot of them are just old guys who only really know that town. I guess that's kind of charming. But if you're a young guy and you go down to support your local club, I don't know.
Well, do you know what it is?
It's a thing to do.
In
It's
England,
a thing
like
to do.
if I let's say I grew up in Sheffield, I could see myself like supporting Sheffield United because it was so easy. Like the stadium was good. It's just like
That's not weird. Yeah, but like, what if there was there's definitely smaller teams in Sheffield that you could support. You support your little neighborhoods club maybe, and you're like, oh, I don't like Sheffield. They're too mainstream for me. I like the little guys in this little neighborhood in Western Sheffield where I'm from, and they play in Tier 6. But we, when we play the FA Cup, you know, that's my favorite day of the year because we might play a team that's in, we might play a league club. We're a non-league club, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's just it's not in Italy. I don't think like the facility, the access is not as good as is here. Like anyone, you can go any stadium will go, even if it's like Championship or League Two or Conference. Like it'll be some decent level of like stadium. Where I feel like in Italy, they're just all really bad and they're all very unsafe. It just feels like you just
You're risking your life for a Serie G game, bro.
like it's not that deep, bro.
Yeah. Oh no, you're right. Hey, you're gonna fall over the ledge. Everything's steep. Yeah, because dude, there's a lot of stadiums in Italy and like in the third and fourth tier where like like they don't have a main stand. There's just like a curva behind the stadium, and everyone sits behind the goal. So it's like a 7,000 seater. So it's a small stadium, but like 6,000 of the people are behind one of the goals. So they're just packed in, and it sits at a 45-degree angle, and you're falling over each other.
Yeah.
But it makes for great imagery when a goal's scored, and people are when the limbs are going. It's one of the most satisfying scenes in football. Limbs.
Limbs.
Oh man. So Napoli won the Scudetto. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Are we happy for them? Is it patronizing to be happy for them? Like it's good for the league, as you said. Like Northern clubs have won for the last 20 years since Roma won in 2001. 22 years. I mean, God,
wow.
It's good. It's good. It's good. It's a good thing. It's a positive. It's a positive thing. It's yeah. I don't know. As a Southern Italian guy, I'm happy for them. I feel like it's a little patronizing of me to say so, and they might call me an Uncle Tom for supporting Juve, but I don't know. Good for you. You did it.
I'm happy. I'm happy for that. I mean, mainly because I don't have any, I don't have any rivalries with any Napoli fans or like, I don't have any beef. So to me, it's like,
They're harmless.
Yeah, harmless. And I'm happy for Spalletti, like Luciano. Like when he was at Inter, I really liked him. I just love him as a character. He's like, if I had a podcast like yours, that he would be like my dream guest. Like I just think he could talk for hours around just any topic he could pick, and I think he could talk for hours on anything.
I couldn't listen to him speak for hours.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah,
I hate it. I hate his voice.
I mean, I remember I used to work with Nemo on Sempre Inter when we used to have to translate his interviews from Italian to English. It was like, bro, my Italian is not advanced enough for this. Like it's like some Shakespearean Italian where it's like I don't know, he speaks in riddles.
He does, yeah. He's a nice guy. I met him once. He's a nice guy. Like he's a nice guy. But like, fuck. I'm just talking about his voice. His voice is annoying too.
Yeah, he speaks in like slow motion.
Io sono contento per questa soddisfazione dello scudetto. L'abbiamo fatto, destini forti.
Uomini forti, destini forti. Uomini deboli, destini deboli.
Who speaks that way too? He's just a weird guy, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not that everyone in his town speaks that way. He just has an odd voice. That's one thing you forget too when you like hear a language that's foreign to you, which Italian to us is not especially foreign, but to some people it might be. You might be a fan of a club. Say you're an Inter fan, okay? There are Inter fans all over the world. You don't really speak Italian. Spalletti's your fucking coach. You hear him in press conferences and you just think, oh, okay, that's an interesting way of speaking Italian. Well, no, it's not. He's just a weird guy. If he was speaking English, he would speak a little like this. It's a little odd. That
would be the equivalent,
He's quirky. He's quirky in a way that's not really endearing,
Well, but he endeared himself to me. I fell for him, even though he was, not the most easy person to listen to. I don't know, that quirkiness got to me.
Well, I think he was a nice guy.
I think it was that. Do you know what he did? It was the Icardi thing. It was like he went like full it wasn't like half half. It was just like, no, this guy, I'm taking away the armband from this guy. I don't rate you as a person. Like that stance he took against Icardi was just like epic. And he does that
But he
everywhere he
feels good.
goes. It was like Roma is Totti, and then like Napoli. I mean, they say that Insigne was also maybe left because of him. So it always picks a bone with the captain.
I never considered that, but it's true. He's done that 3 times in the last 3 clubs he's been at.
Yeah, I wonder if he did it at Zenit. I
Who
mean,
was
we
the?
don't know, but
I was
maybe.
gonna. Who's the captain at Zenit? Was Domenico Criscito ever the captain at Zenit, or am I dreaming?
I remember
I'm
he fell out
serious.
with Hulk. Remember him?
I do remember him. Yeah, he's still playing. He's playing in Brazil. I googled him last week because I was wondering where he was at. Yeah, man, he was a beast, man. He was just a FIFA god. There's some guys who I think it's so weird being a guy who was like idolized on FIFA, because you'll never, nothing you do as a player will ever outlive your legend on like a virtual platform.
Yeah, it was like,
It's
yeah,
a weird
you get like these
existence.
guys like Ibarbo from Cagliari, who was like FIFA 11 or something. He was like had
Oh my
95
god.
pace, and it was just like, well,
Nothing
Victor.
Fabrizio Micoli ever does will ever pass anything he's done for you on Foot Champs in
Yeah.
2013. Like it's not possible. Yeah, no, I know. I always thought, Spalletti was just a nice guy. I thought he was like nice, but it was kind of, I
But
don't
he was
know.
always the bridesmaid, isn't he? He's like always the guy, like, oh, Roma finished second with like, it was always like he's almost there. Like he's a good coach. We all know he's a good coach, but is he that good? So I'm glad to see him like now he's being rated. Like everyone in Europe is talking about, oh, the way Napoli play, all this kind of stuff. I think that's quite a nice story.
Do you think he has anything to do with it, really?
What do you
I
mean?
mean, he fostered a nice environment for the team, but I mean the scouting was top notch.
Yeah, but you have
Who
to
who
bring his
gets
side
more credit?
too.
Who gets more credit there? I mean, again, it's a credit on your resume, but who gets more credit for Milan winning the Scudetto last year? Was it Pioli or was it Maldini who put a good squad together? Is it both? I mean, I guess it's both, but
Yeah, I mean it's
how
extreme.
I don't know how much the manager really has to do with how a team plays. I honestly believe that. I don't know. Maybe it's a crazy take by me, but like
No, but you see it with Milan this year. Like what they did last year was clearly like overachievement. What they did last year.
it's called manager for a reason. I think what a manager does is he just has to foster a good environment.
Yeah,
I think
but
that's
I
why
mean, in Italy, it's
Ted
called
Lasso
they're,
is
they're coaches. In England, they call them managers. In Italy, they just call them coaches.
well,
Allenatore.
okay, but
They have managers
okay,
like
who
Maldini is like the director, and they have like team managers. Like at Inter is like some guy called Riccardo Ferri who used to play for Inter. He's the team manager apparently.
okay, interesting. Is there's a distinction between the two?
Well, apparently in Italy, yeah,
Like
there is.
I know that. Well, allenatore means trainer. Really,
Yeah,
it's like he's. I guess the connotation is that he's coaching more than managing.
yeah, because I feel like in Italy there is that
But
hierarchy. Like even in England, they didn't even used to have many sporting directors. It's become like a thing now. But before, in England, the manager, like Fergie, used to do the coaching, managing the transfers, everything.
right. But here's the thing. But here's what I mean though. Forget about titles for a second. Forget about semantics.
Okay.
What does a coach? What does a guy who mans the ship in the locker room do? Right at the helm. I mean, he tactically manages them, and he also kind of emotionally manages them. Right. He runs
Yeah.
training, but he's also the one who speaks to them.
Yeah.
So he's the man motivator. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
In that sense, he's managing like a room full of adults. He's managing a room full of personalities. I don't know. Like I understand that Mourinho's running. Let's take Mourinho as an example. Okay, he's saying, here's how we're going to play. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. This counterattack, boom, they're weak here, and we're going to target this guy. But ultimately, what he's doing is he's motivating you a lot too, right?
Hmm.
Every coach is giving you instructions, but Mourinho's a guy who almost everyone who's played for him has said, even in recent years, which is like kind of the second chapter of Mourinho's career, like the second half, right? We're kind of on the back nine right now of his career, right? There was Mourinho the special one, and now it's Mourinho the fun one. It's so since the fun one era, I think people kind of have come out and acknowledged that, listen, maybe he's not quite the same guy he still was, but we still love playing for him. That's a thing that you have or you don't. So he's obviously a very good man manager. He's a very good, bootleg psychologist, I would assume. And what I'm saying is, if you're Pioli, you probably get credit for just fostering a really good environment for those players to just feel good. I'm trying to apply my own experience, right? Like, as a guy who's played and been coached before in other sports, we've all been coached. I think the best coaches just make you feel good. So maybe that's what Spalletti's good at. But again, that's why I think Ted Lasso is kind of believable. Like, it's also not. Like, it's crazy. It's insane. But the reason that we don't look at it as complete fantasy, and that, like, football fans have sort of taken to it as an endearing show, all right, we'll watch this, is because there's a little bit, it's just real enough. It's just real enough, He's a man manager. He's goofy, he's eccentric, I get it. He's just a character, but maybe that's where Spalletti gets credit, I guess, Maybe that's why he doesn't like Totti or Icardi or Insigne being the captain if they're not doing exactly what he wants of a captain. Maybe, right? I think in the case of Icardi was probably the most, like, severe case, I would say, because I don't know Francesco Totti personally, but who would you listen between Lorenzo Insigne, Francesco Totti, and Mauro Icardi? Who do you think was the biggest problem in the locker room as the captain?
Icardi,
right? Of course, right? Because the fucking wives don't like his wife, and it's a whole thing. It's no harmony. In the case of Insigne or like Totti, you might think that maybe they weren't doing their job because they're just not sharp enough. But it's probably no malice. They're just a little stupid, a little slow. They're really talented, but, like, neither of them are especially brilliant guys. You've heard both of them speak. It's like, okay, neither of them are great, probably motivators. Maybe they are. I don't know. Again, I've never been in their locker room, but it could just be that they're captains because they are the best player, and because on the pitch, people look to them for inspiration and creativity. But I don't know.
Did you ever watch the show that they made? The Speravo de morì prima, the one they made on Totti.
No, is that the terrible one with the guy that didn't look like him at all?
Yeah, that one.
the guy who looked like fucking.
He looked like
he looked like Simone Perotta.
Yeah.
He looked like Simone Perotta, bro. Yeah,
it's
crazy.
Not look like him, but the Spalletti, the guy that got to do Spalletti, he was like pretty spot on. But yeah, that show.
Was he a bald guy?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. Well, I don't know. I thought maybe they made him black and with a full head of dreadlocks. It's like they weren't that committed to casting very well. It's
they got Chris Rock to do Spalletti.
Okay.
No, yeah, that was a funny show. I mean, it wasn't supposed to be funny.
I'm telling you, strong men, strong destinies. All right, I'm telling you. Sorry. So how did they depict Totti in that? Yeah, how did they depict him? I didn't see it.
Well, the funny part is they depicted Spalletti as this, like, this like evil villain. Like, every time Spalletti would come onto the scene, it would be like some like really dramatic music, like, oh no, it's the evil bald guy coming onto the scene. It's so funny. Like, they really like did a job on Spalletti in that one. I'm sure he said, I think he sued them or something. Like, I think he took him to court.
I think I heard about that. Right, I remember that. I forgot. Right. Yeah. Again, like he always struck me as a guy who just is just a kind. Again, I met him once, and I was like, okay, he seems nice. He seems like a nice man. But I don't know why. There was always something about him that just rubbed me in a certain way where I was like, he's not quite endearing. I don't know why. Maybe it's because he always looks exasperated and he's always kind of complaining a little bit. It's like, fundamentally, he's probably a good human being to he understands his job. He's as a figure of, of a club, he makes time. I think he was making time for fans and stuff. I don't know. Like, you could just see in someone's eyes whether they kind of, I mean, Roma were staying at a hotel in Montreal once. I think their training camp was being run out of Montreal, and I ran into Spalletti. So I said, "Oh, Mister, hi, like, nice to meet you." And he didn't have to speak to me. He could have been like, "Listen, man, I'm running off." But he took the time to speak to me, and right there, I was like, "Okay, he gets it. He's a nice guy."
Mm-hmm.
I was like 18 years old. Like, I wouldn't have bothered him now. Honestly, now I would not have bothered him. But back then, you're younger, you're more excitable. I gave more of a shit. And he was kind to me, even though I was probably annoying him a little bit, you know. But so I like that about him. But anytime I've heard him speak in the media or fucking, to his body language, he always looks irritated. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's
Yeah,
true.
So I wonder what he's like in the dressing room. I really do. I don't know. But like if you can get a clean slate, which he kind of had this year, you can kind of mold them according to your ideas, What's Kim Min-jae going to say back to him? Neither of them understand any of the languages that either of them speak,
Yeah, have you seen those clips of Spalletti talking to Ndombele in like broken English? He's like, "Why you
No.
go there? Why you go there?" Or him shouting at Kvara when he was like saying like, "Why are you offside?" Is like, "Come back, watch the line, look at the line."
What's he coaching Kvicha Kvaratskhelia to do? Kvicha Kvaratskhelia is one of the best ball dribblers in the world right now. I don't know why I said ball dribblers. I was going to say ball handlers. I was going to say ball handlers, but I realized that was a weird word. No, but he's one of the best dribblers in the world. What does coaching have to do with him? They signed a fucking gem. If they didn't sign him, they don't win the Scudetto. How much credit does Spalletti get? He's a guy who's able to go in there and not be like overrun by the big names in the locker room. He's been doing it for a long time. Fine. But like, what's he doing that's really reinventing the wheel? Does he get, I don't know.
No, but the way they won it, like they've won it, what, five game days before the Serie A is actually over. Like, the style they did it in as well, bro. Like, you got to give him credit for the style. Like, the whole of Europe, like here in England, people ask, they talk about Napoli. It's like, yo, this Napoli team, like the way they play. Like,
people have been saying that about Napoli for 5 years. That's not an original thought. People have been saying, Napoli
they've actually
well.
delivered something.
Wow, they play well. They've been saying that since Saturday.
Yeah, but the Rosario used to get slapped up in Europe as well. But people used to talk about it like just from Serie A. But these guys were doing it like they slapped up Liverpool, they slapped up Ajax.
I mean, yeah. I'm happy. Good for them. They're harmless,
Yeah.
They're harmless, bro. I'll let them have a Scudetto. If they had won a Champions League, it would have been really unbearable.
Oh,
let's let the big boys compete for the Champions League now. The guys who have been there before, who know what they're doing, the guys whose fans are gonna be a little bit more. It'll be a healthy level of euphoria.
Yeah.
No,
but bro, like the Milan derby though, it's too much stress. Like if it was Napoli, if it was Inter Napoli, it would have been so much easier to take. Like I'm gonna struggle to sleep the next 2 nights now with this build up. It's too much.
But isn't that better? Isn't that cooler? Isn't it cool to feel like you really care about something? Like it feels like a big occasion. Inter and Milan in a Champions League semifinal is a huge fucking deal. Probably a bigger deal than any other game that you guys could possibly play. Maybe against Juve it will be like the same level,
Yeah,
Juve, Milan, and Inter playing any combination of one another.
Yeah,
and them playing any combination of one another in the Champions League semifinal is equally nerve wracking.
Yeah,
but
I don't even like.
But it's also equally romantic. It's romantic.
It's a good matchup, like for neutrals. But the thing with Juve is like, even though I hate Juve, like the matches are so bad now when we play against Juve, like because of Allegri, like the way you guys play, it's just like so dead. It's so dead.
I mean, I'm not suggesting to you that there would have been any. I'm not suggesting there would have been any chance that Juve would have made it this year, but I'm saying hypothetically, if you're playing Juventus, you don't give a shit about the fact that they play like garbage. I mean, you guys have been really inconsistent for the last month too.
No, but I mean,
Instead have been up and down. And how much trust do you have in Simone Inzaghi right now?
Oh
yeah,
man,
the way they play. Okay, but hang on. Okay, we're like addressing two different points here. I was just gonna say the whole point about the magic of a Champions League Cup competition, or any competition, but the Champions League in particular, because it's the biggest one. I think is that everything else kind of goes out the window, right? Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, even though Juve play like dog shit, how does that factor into the equation at all? You're still playing your club is still playing Juve. It's the names that,
like if this is gonna be the advertisement of Italian football Serie A, that's what I'm just saying. Like that, I would not be excited about a matchup against Juve. Like this is like I'm nervous but excited for this game because I know it's gonna be two good games because I know the two teams there's gonna be open.
Okay, right. Well, no, that's fair. That's a very good point. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game as well. I think I think I like your point about it being a good advertisement for Italian football. What I don't like is that everyone's now saying Calcio's back.
Oh,
I saw an advert the other day. I saw an advert the other day saying Serie A's back, Calcio's back,
yeah,
with
Fabio
Fabio
Capello,
Capello, Luca
Calcio.
Toni, and Cannavaro. Did you see that? You
Yeah.
guys get that internationally too? Okay, so it's a thing they're pushing everywhere. Great. Yeah. Can we kill the guy who made that?
Yeah, I think we
I'm serious.
should. I think we can collectively decide to leak his address.
Yeah. No, I want to have an argument on the pod where once a week I just say who should we kill this week.
Yeah.
I'm only half kidding. Last week it was maybe we should kill Allegri. I was just hypothetically, like because people were saying we should appoint him as sporting director at Juve, and I was like, well, do we have
Oh
to do
my
that, or
god.
can we just kill him? You know, what if we killed him instead? You know, maybe this week I would say kill whoever made that fucking advert, and I'm only half kidding. Like I'm really I'm serious. If they murdered it, no, but I'm serious. Like if they murdered him, who get, you know, I don't want people to die because it's not nice. Like it's not a nice way to behave. You know, killing people, but it would send a good message. You know, to
like
any other people that hey,
it is
stop
cringy.
doing cringe shit. Stop
Yeah,
doing cringe shit.
it is
Stop
cringy.
saying
It is
cringe. You
cringy.
know,
And
Calcio's
it's
back.
just too early. Like, yeah, it's just like it's 1 year. We finally like Serie A is doing well in Europe. Like, it's just
Weak bracket. 3 Italian clubs on one side. One of them's going to go to the final. There was a 3/4 chance that one of them was going to go through anyway. You know, come on.
Serie A.
Gonna get yeah, dude. I mean,
Calcio is back.
bro, Inter would get slapped by Man City. Do you not think? Do you
Probably,
not
yeah.
think that Man City fucking slap Inter or Milan, whoever makes the final? Is there any way they actually win it? Do you really care? Do you just want to make the final so that you could say, "Oh, well, at least we beat Milan"? Like at that point, you made the final, and whatever happens, happens, right? Like when Juve made the final and lost to Barcelona, I was disappointed, but nobody expected them to beat Barcelona. Everyone expected them to get clapped, and you just got to make the final. You got to
Yeah.
not lose to Milan, right? That's kind of
Yeah, I
that's
mean,
kind of I think how both teams are approaching it.
beating Milan is like almost like winning it because it'll be like, and we have to take revenge for 2003 and 2005 when they beat us. So we've got like, an open account to take revenge on.
Isn't it great to be thinking back 20 years and say we got to get him back for that thing from decades ago,
Bro, they went
which we
through
still
on
haven't
two
forgotten?
draws. They went through. It's fucking 1-1, and you're playing in the same stadium, but it's away. Like that still gets me to this day.
It's true. Yeah, that should be like the one time that the away goal rule shouldn't count. You know, I mean, I know they don't have one anymore, but like at the time that it was a thing, you'd be surprised that there wasn't a caveat that if two clubs who happen to play in the same stadium should face off against one another,
Yeah,
like two teams in Romania, you know, or like two, or two teams in,
yeah,
really, it's just like clubs in Italy. Really, it would only really apply to Italian clubs. It's like the only place that you would have, that you really have that shit. But yeah, I don't know. I hear you. I think the way that both teams are approaching it is just don't lose. Don't lose because
yeah.
if you lose, then the other team goes through. It's like, yeah, we want to do well, and if we win, great, we have a chance to win the competition. But I don't think either of you guys really think you're going to win the fucking competition. It's like I just want to make sure the other team doesn't get further than me.
Hey man, once you're there, like with the Pep and Man City, like you say you get slapped out, but I've
That's
seen
true.
them
He could
finals
he could
before.
start two at the back. He
Yeah,
could start two at the back in the final and try to like put a cherry on on his
yeah,
Sunday. Did you see Yaya Toure's manager came out yesterday and said that apparently the curse on Man City's now lifted, so they
yeah,
can win the. Remember that was a
yeah.
thing.
Brilliant.
So
It had to
so
be the year that the Italian team is in the final.
so Calcio's back. No, 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 not if the Ivorian manager has anything to say about it. The Ivorian fucking agent, whatever the fuck. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I saw
no,
Chelsea.
not this
Chelsea,
year.
like when they won it like 2 or 3 years ago, like they weren't that great. Like they were weaker than Man City. They had really Kai Havertz up front. So if they can win it, we can win it. And I think Man City were better back then.
Do you want to see the Tegui at Inter, or do you not
Oh
really
god,
care?
no, I don't really care. It's just one of them. Like like the problem is like since he's come into like again we were talking about hype earlier about Chat GPT and like crypto. This guy's hype is just like shot up all of a sudden out of nowhere, and now they're asking for like 20-25 million. It's like,
That's not bad. It's not that much.
well, for Inter it is.
But it's not that much for a striker that scores goals.
But then he wouldn't be he wouldn't start over like I don't see him being a starter with Lautaro being like Inter's starting striker. I just don't see it.
Smart, Smart business says you sell Lautaro and you sign him if you back him. You know?
Yeah,
That's
I
the
don't
thing.
know.
If AI were running clubs, that would be the fucking thing that you would have to deal with. You'd have to deal with AI deciding to sell Lautaro Martinez even though you don't want it, and it's telling you, no, we know better. Trust me, this guy's the same. He's 2 years younger, and we can make a profit. It'll just
Mm,
become cold and tactical. Every decision will become fucking cold and yeah, just
yeah.
pragmatic above all else.
Or they keep
That's
renewing
what's coming.
Quadrado. They keep renewing Quadrado every year because the AI just like determines that his dribbling percentage is very high, so you need to keep him.
That's not possible. There's no way. There's no way that the player to beat the fucking AI algo would be Quadrado, bro. There's no fucking way. Quadrado. He's so fucking bad now, man. But he's bad because what I mean by that is like it's his decision making. It's like it was tolerable for a while because he was young and dynamic, and it's like he's kind of lost a bit of the explosiveness now. So it's a little weird that he's gotten older and still makes stupid decisions. It's the stuff that you hope gets better when he gets older, but he just makes dumb fucking decisions all the time. I don't know. It's like
Juve getting. I just read the news about Juve about they might get another deduction.
yeah, it's coming. It's coming. Yeah, 100%.
Mm.
What do you want from me? I mean, yeah, dude, they're gonna be those guys are gonna be beating cases for the next 6 months. They're gonna be running from the law for the next dude. It's yeah.
Are they going down?
I'm numb to it. I'm totally numb to it. I'm indifferent to
Mm.
to. I'm kind of accepting the impending doom. That's all. Do it in the off season. Just do it in the off season. E basta. That's all. But I think
Yeah.
what might if a point deduction leads to them getting out of Europe, or out of the Champions League, I mean that's problematic. But it's probably what's going to happen because Gravina's now what the VP of UEFA is he? What favor did he do to fucking chef it in? Oh wait, it's not that hard to fucking put 2 and 2 together.
Mm.
Fucking derail their campaign midway through the season, minus 15 points, gets promoted to the fucking VP of UEFA, and then the points deduction gets reversed. I mean, whatever. Juve have been on UEFA's hit list for some time now. I don't know. Am I nuts? Do you not sympathize with me at all, or
No,
as
no.
an Interista?
On the Plus Valenza case, I do because that one it just seemed very shaky grounds. Everything, the foundation of it was very shaky. Everything else, though, I think you've got trouble coming.
Here's why I'm resigned to it because I mean we're fully guilty like of every like if we're gonna draw the line there and say you can't do this, you can't, like, technically the stock market manipulation, it's like, well, okay, what are we gonna argue? We did it. There's a paper trail. There's a paper trail. The money did not enter the players' accounts for these weeks at the start of COVID. It's over. It's done. That's stock market manipulation. Okay, indict him. I don't know what to tell you. Why that requires a sporting penalty, I don't really know, but we did it. That's for sure. I agree with you. I'm logically, like, I'm dude. I'm ideologically consistent enough to be. I'm intellectually honest. Okay. The Plus Valenza case I thought was complete horseshit. This other thing, I think we're fucked.
Yeah.
Because there is a case there. The Plus Valenza thing is impossible to prove. You can't say what an arbitrary value really is. You cannot say what an arbitrary value is. It's whatever the fuck the two parties agree to pay. That's it. That's all. It's over. Done. Great. It was overturned for a reason. I think it was only levied against him because Gravina was trying to get brownie points with Chef it in, and he got a promotion. That's what I think. I'm a conspiracy theorist, but whatever. I think this other case we're fucked. Yeah, 100%, bro. There's nothing to say. There's nothing to do. I don't know why you need a sporting penalty for it, though. Why do you need to get a sporting penalty levied against you if it's a federal crime?
if you couldn't have, maybe like if you couldn't afford those players and you were like you're paying Dybala, but you're not actually paying what you're saying you're paying Dybala, and he's getting you goals, like, isn't that sporting fraud?
I guess. Yeah, I guess. What about clubs who? Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, what about clubs? What about like clubs in England who have failed to make payments to players for months on end, and I realize that every time that happens, the team gets deducted points and they get get relegated,
like Derby County,
Blackpool. No. I caught myself. I was like, oh yeah, I have no case. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, man, I don't fucking know, man. just gotta wait for it to
What were you
happen
saying
now.
about the derby anyway? Who's winning Champions League?
Between the whole thing,
No, this
I
just
think we're out.
the just like the Inter versus Milan.
I think Milan go through, bro. I'm sorry.
Whoa,
Who cares? Who cares what I have to say about it? Who gives a shit about
I
predictions,
care.
bro? Predictions. You want my prediction? You want my fucking expert opinion? It's random. It's random. It'll probably be tight. I don't know. Two, maybe Milan win the first one 2-1, and I don't know. You can win. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I can't give a prediction, bro. If I give you a prediction, here's the thing. Anyone that says they know what's gonna happen in a game is full of horse shit. When they start picking like results, bro, what am I gonna tell you? I'm clairvoyant. I know what's gonna happen, dude. I'll tell you who I think is gonna win. Why? I don't know. Because it's a coin flip in my mind. It's a proverbial coin flip, and I gotta pick someone. Milan. I don't know why. Champions League DNA. What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. It doesn't really mean anything. You know, you just hope for the
Yeah.
best. You know, I don't have a dog in the race. If it was my club, I'd say I hope it works out for them, and I'll watch it happen. And it's kind of like being a gambler when you play blackjack. You don't have any control in the matter. You know, there's a little bit of strategy that goes into it. Ultimately, it's going to play out, and however it plays out, plays out. You know, you get a little bit of luck go your way, boom.
Mm.
You know, you beat the dealer. Great, congrats. Watch it play out. It's exciting when you're playing blackjack. When the fucking flip is happening, you're, oh, what's happening? Oh shit, am I going to win or not? That's all it is. It means nothing. I can't predict any of it. Just watch it happen and then say, oh, like as a neutral who supports neither club, I'm going to watch it and say, oh, I'm going to go, oh,
Well,
okay.
Leao is out for the first leg apparently, so that I think could be big for.
I did not know that. I did not know that. All right, I'm flipping it. I'm flipping my prediction. Like, okay, I don't know. Who do they have then? They don't have a forward. They're going to play with Giroud and Salamakers. I don't even understand how Milan have had any success with some of the players they've had, man.
That's what I mean when you're saying like purely, if you're gonna give purely any credit, like this guy, how did he win a Scudetto with bloody Salamakers? Oh my god, it still annoys me to this day. Oh,
Well,
Inzaghi's got blood on his hands.
blood on his hands. What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
We bottled the Scudetto last year.
Oh, well, yeah, right. I guess that's fair. Yeah, but bro, Zlatan, bro. Milan had Zlatan, bro. They had Zlatan motivation. They had Balkan fire, bro.
Where's it gone
Fire,
this
bro.
year? He's still
I
there.
don't know.
He's there looking like what's that guy
Collecting a check, bro.
the spring
He's a
breaks
motivational speaker, bro.
what's that rapper called, the one with the white guy with the dreads? Oh, I'm blanking
Rondo
now.
da Sosa.
No, he's like an American dude, but he's famous, but he's whack, but he's famous for some reason.
Riff Raff.
Riff Raff, that's the one. Have you seen him the other day? He was on the sidelines of Ibra. He had the whole cornrows going.
Oh fuck. I mean, yeah, he's just become a motivational speaker, bro.
he's Gary V of football now.
He's 40. He's 41. It's not charming when he speaks in the third person anymore, but but it gets the people going. I don't know. Yeah, speaking of Balkans, you see that shit about Vlahovic getting apparently racially taunted, and then he got a yellow card for flexing on the Atalanta fucking ultras at the end of the game. That was a nice goal. I love how Serbians come out and see that, and they're like, "Yo, this is bad. This is terrible. People are racist towards Serbs," and these are the same people. Like, if he was Albanian and they had made the same noises, the Serbs would have been like, "It's good. It's good. They get it. They get it. They stand in solidarity with us. Fuck those dogs."
Yeah, and it was like all the Albanian guys were like, yeah, that's what he deserves.
Yo, like, yeah, yeah. I don't know, bro. I have a Serbian friend who I might want to get on soon, and just to talk about the Kosovo War.
Oh God, you're definitely not getting that episode on YouTube.
Well, I don't know. We'll say it's for educational purposes or whatever. He's Rade Krunic's cousin, actually.
Oh, I think you've talked about him in the past, haven't you?
Yeah. That's why he's come on the pod once before, and we just said.
Oh, so he's
my buddy.
So he's not Bosnian. He's from the Serbian side.
No, and apparently Krunic is also Serbian, but he plays for Bosnia because he was born there. I don't know.
Okay.
It's weird. I don't understand that whole part of the world, bro. It's like they all look the same, they all sound the same, but it's like they all live on this tiny little territory. They'll represent each other's fucking. They'll have kids with each other. You know, a Bosnian and a Croat will have kids, but it's like they hate each other. It's odd. Yeah, no, I love how the last time I had that guy on, I was literally like, yeah, it's my buddy Max. He's Krunich's cousin.
Nice.
What's up? And that was it. It was like, all right, what do you have to say? Do you know your cousin? He's like, well, I haven't seen him in 10 years. I was like, okay, well, what do we talk about now? You know, it was mental. Okay, I want to pull this up. I want to pull something up before we get out of here. I'm gonna let you go in a moment here, but I want to fucking pull up a couple stories that I wanted to flag. One of them is from Serie B, and I don't know if you've been following Serie B that diligently. I've been following it pretty closely because for the past few weeks now, my team Cosenza, the team where my father's from, have been in a fucking relegation dogfight, and Benevento are one of the teams that they've been in the dogfight with. I think they beat them a few weeks back, which basically all but doomed them. Okay, so we'll pull this up here. If you're only listening in, you're not on YouTube, I'll read it. I'll read it out to you. But again, if you want to get the full experience, you might want to just tune in on YouTube real quick. What the fuck? Okay, there we go. All right. Benevento team bus attacked by own fans in high-speed motorway chase. You see this? You did? Great.
No, I'm just seeing it now. I didn't see it before.
Benevento were on the verge of relegation to Serie C, and the team bus was attacked by its own fans in an extraordinary high-speed chase involving several vehicles on the motorway. The club had been in Serie A as recently as 2020-21, but were relegated at the end of the season and were in the promotion playoffs last term. It all went very wrong this term, and they are rock bottom of the Serie B table, practically guaranteed to drop down to Serie C. There's been growing tensions with the fans, but nobody could have expected the scene that followed their defeat to Cittadella. Really? Could nobody have expected the scene? Nobody. Your team is in Serie A 2 fucking years ago. They're about to go down to Serie C, and nobody would expect that the fans care. Here's the thing. These people who really care about Benevento, you're in Benevento, man. You're like an hour from Naples. You understand that if you support Benevento in Benevento, and these are people who probably supported them for like decades, like maybe 10 years, these are probably 30, 35, 40-year-old people. They've probably been supporting them for a long ass time. These are the people we were talking about before. If you're from Benevento and you don't support Napoli, you're a weird guy. If you support Benevento, you're a weird fucking guy. You got lucky because your team got promoted to Serie A a couple of years ago, and that's cool. But the odds that would ever happen was very low. Okay, it's not a big city. It's it's not like they're one of the mainstays clubs of the South. You think about like where would clubs from the South really? Who listen? If you think of clubs in the south of Italy, and you have to pick like five out of 20, it's like 5 out of 20 of the clubs from the south of Italy have to go up to Serie A. Which ones are the most likely to be up there based on size of city and how much money they can generate as a result of stadium size, ticket sales, and interest garnered in their own city? Bari, maybe Lecce, Napoli. Maybe Regina, Palermo. I would say maybe Catania over Regina, actually. So maybe like two Sicilian clubs, right? Benevento's not one of them. But again, This is what happens when your team does too well. When you have nice things, you start to expect nice things, and there's a modification of expectations that occurs, which is, I think, not productive necessarily. So according to Sky Sport Italia, the team bus was driving back along the Bologna-Firenze motorway. Jesus Christ. So these are traveling fans.
Yeah, these are guys that spend their day, took some time off work if they have work.
These people spending money, when it was flanked by several minibuses carrying their own ultras. Holy shit. So can you imagine this? Can you imagine this? So the Benevento team bus, right, is ripping it down the highway, and it gets basically like enclosed by what's described as several other minibuses. So basically there are people, I guess a minibus, what does that mean? Is that like a Sprinter, like a Mercedes Sprinter? Because if that makes sense, and you have rogue hooligan ultras that are driving it, bro. Oh yeah. It's like a scene out of Gomorrah. Driving at high speed, the people in the minibuses threw objects at the team coach, with some even leaning out to smash the windows with metal bars. High speed! Leaning out of the fucking window, dude. Fortunately, the double glazing on the bus windows managed to prevent internal damage. Police were called and had to give the Benevento squad
How is there no video of this?
An escort back to their base. I'm disappointed that there's no video of this. Assalto al pullman del Benevento in autostrada. I love that word. I love the word pullman. Here's my favorite part about this whole story is that the people that decided to attack... Okay, that's the end of the story. The people that decided to attack the bus literally said... They sound Napoletan, right? It's Benevento. So... Oh, frate. a dove si trova il pullman? Il pullman a dove? A dove il pullman? Eccolo, frate. Fratemi. Fratemi, cercami il pullman. Just fucking that word that they definitely used. That word was definitely used in conversation. Il pullman. We're gonna go after il pullman. Why do they say that? Why don't they say bus? Isn't autobus easier to say? No one says autobus. No one says autobus. It's an
Pullman is not
autobus.
even like we didn't even use that in English. How the hell did
No,
that?
no, it's like Kleenex. It's like is it like a company name? What is a Pullman? A Pullman.
I've
I thought a
never.
Pullman
Yeah.
was like I thought it was like a Chrysler, like a Chrysler Pullman. It sounds like a sounds like a car that like British royals get escorted in. You know, in the
Well, apparently it
the
was
corgis and the royals were in the Pullman.
apparently it was a train in England. Pullman trains in Great Britain were mainline luxury railway services operated between 1874 and 1962.
Interesting.
That's Pullman.
Looking it up live in real time. Uè frate, ma ha giurato a finestra du Pullman. Ha giurato a finestra. Non hai capito? Ha giurato a finestra del Pullman. L'hanno cercata. Fucking.
I mean, what I'm imagining is that scene, like, you know, when Napoli won the Scudetto last week, and there were like all those scooters behind, like all like coming up in one big gang all together. That's what I was imagining. I wasn't expecting minibuses, like a gang of minibuses.
Dude, when I saw that scene, I just played I played the theme music from Gomorra in my head whenever something bad's about to happen. Before someone's about to get fucking popped, you know? Oh man. Have you seen the show? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know which one. When anything pops off as the
You know when the music like switches on a dime, right? So
Yeah,
it goes
yeah.
from da da da
yeah.
da da da. Da, 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 na, na, na,
Yeah.
da, na, 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 da, na, na. You know, you think there's a beautiful moment that's about to happen, and then oh shit, someone's about to get shot. You know, there are hitmen coming. You just, you know, yeah. Did you see that? Did you see that last week after Napoli won the Scudetto in Udine, a bunch of fans started carving into the grass and putting it in Ziploc bags and selling it on eBay for €700 a pop?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say about the ultras that got beaten up by the Udinese ultras.
That was a scene. That was a scene and a half, man. That was insane. Bunch of Udinese. You know what? It kind of makes sense too. It's like, oh shit, they're fucking throwing a full on party. All these Napoli fans that are like, you know, just invading the pitch like it's their own ground, and you have all these like probably like racist Northerners who hate Southern Italians who are like, we're gonna go after these dogs, you know?
Yeah,
Sticani.
that proves my point
Sticani.
about Sassuolo, bro. Like, because Milan did the same thing in Sassuolo, but nothing happened to them. Sassuolo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a great fucking point. Yeah, exactly. They still have pride up in Udine. You know, Udine is a relatively like important city in that part of the country. You know, Sassuolo's barely anything. It's just probably kids that go there. You know, from school. You know, it's a bunch of school trips that probably go down to that stadium. Yeah, so a bunch of ultras invaded the pitch, started beating the fuck out of them, while like Ciro and fucking Sasa were like carving grass out. Wait, frate, dammi un coltello, mi voglio cacciare l'erba do scudetto. Eccolo qua. And what's crazy to me is they had Ziploc bags, which means they went prepared. They were fully anticipating going down. Like, dude, they're entrepreneurial as shit.
Yeah.
Kudos, chapeau, bro. They went down with a plan. It was the first thing they did. They were methodical about it. It wasn't for any sentimental reasons. It was like, we're doing this and we're gonna sell it. They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they did.
It's brilliant too. I've never seen that before too. I've never seen fucking.
I bet it goes for like
grass.
I bet it goes for like 400, 500 euros or something like that.
A patch sold for 700.
Oh, what?
Yeah, mate. Yeah, bro. Can make a couple G's off of that one little score. No problem.
Nice.
And it looks like grass too. You know, you fucking get pulled over. Hey, what do you got? What do you got? You carrying anything? You know, hey, solo l'erba. Hey, pull over. You know. You got bags of weed on them, and it's just literally grass, you know?
Yeah.
Literally fucking bags of grass, blades of grass, bro. It was nuts. Did you see that? You know, so Insigne has obviously been, you know, he's been gone for a year now, which is, it's crazy that this all happened after he fucking left the club. It's bonkers. The fact that they went and won a title after their like local Napoletan captain fucking left, you know? And now he's relegated to posting pictures like this. I don't know if you saw. This is like the day after
modeling.
The day after Napoli won the Scudetto. This is what he's up to in Toronto. Just modeling bathing suits that are way too big for him. Like, this is bro. Set
Oh
this summer
god.
on fire. Lorenzo Insigne wearing matinee official men's collection.
You got LGF Elmas there, like bello.
Bro, he's
Commenting.
fucking he's swimming in these, bro.
Yeah.
He's swimming. It's definitely the smallest size they had available.
And he had his
He looks
that
okay there.
OVO. Did they
He
have
looks
like
okay
an
there.
OVO thing collab with him or something?
Yeah, that shit was hot, bro. Nah, mate. Look at that. Look how fucking big these fucking.
Yeah,
Look
it's
how
like
big
when you
these
give a kid like his
board
dad's
shorts are.
shorts.
He does look like that. If he didn't have tattoos, he would look like. Look, he even looks like a little kid there. Look, he looks like a little cheeky kid. He's got the
Yeah.
towel over his shoulder. If he didn't have the eyebrow slit and the big watch and the tattoos, he'd be like, you caught me, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You hate to see it.
I appreciate you coming on, man. This was cool. It was good to catch up with you, man. Listen, we'll see what happens, bro. We'll see what happens. Just watch the fucking game and just accept that it's a game of blackjack you're watching. You know?
That
Prediction.
doesn't
What's
make
your
any
prediction?
better.
Do you have a prediction?
Yeah, I think especially with the Leao thing, I think we should be going through. Like I
Okay.
don't know. I feel like I'm usually like me and Nima kind of like we always do like an anti-jinx type thing where it's like, oh no, we'll draw, we'll lose. But I feel like confident going into this. I don't know if it's a bad thing.
Maybe you'll be right. I don't know. 50-50. Right? If you're right, you could claim that you fucking predicted it. And if not, you could just say, oh, L. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever, bro. So, man, taking L's on and off the pitch. Oh, we lost and I lost my prediction. All right. Who cares?
Well, I have to talk about it on my channel, so I have to, analyze it and whatever, go through with it with the boys, with the gang.
Where could people get at you?
Just Uncle Sharma on the YouTube. You should be able to find me if you're interested into content. Or I do try to make Serie A and then sometimes Azzurri content when Italy play like international tournaments. But yeah, I would say it's pretty much focused on Inter these days.
Well, Inter Videos is in the channel name, if I'm not mistaken. So you're
It is.
you're really leaning it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fair.
I think I'm gonna do the same thing you did, though. I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna try and like
Uncle Sharma.
Yeah,
That's who I am. You know, maybe it's Inter Videos. Maybe it's maybe we'll talk about.
local Zio.
Yeah, exactly. Nah, take it out. No, I say take it out and then just talk about anything. You can still talk about. You're still going to talk about the same shit, but it doesn't only have to be Inter Videos.
Yeah.
If something crazy happens in another match that you really want to get into that you happen to have watched that you might want to get off your chest. I don't know. It doesn't feel as like off brand.
Yeah.
Do what you want. Do what you want, man. I don't know. Fucking don't listen to me, bro. It took me 2 years to change my fucking name. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah. No, I appreciate you having me on, bro. I was I've been listening for a long time and I've enjoyed seeing your transition into this Bordello.
I appreciate it, mate. Listeners, get at us on all platforms at I'm Sam Adamo. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, leave a comment, do all that shit. It helps us out. And if you're just tuning in, if you're listening in, rate it. Apparently that helps. I don't know. Do anything you can do, just do it. Anything you have, any metric you have, like any metrics that we have, any that doesn't make sense. Any ability you have to do anything toward the channel, leaving a review, anything, just do it because it helps. That's all. Most people aren't doing it. You could if you want to. I don't know. I love you either way. Thank you. Alla prossima. Sharma, my man.
Ciao.